Hello and welcome to another edition of Mailbag. What is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is a feature of the channel where you guys leave lots of comments on the channel and I attempt to answer those comments, or if I can't answer those comments, I throw it out to you guys who have more knowledge on some of this stuff than I do. So let's get into the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. Next video comes from Johnny and it is in response to how to connect the Roland Aira instruments via USB to the Roland MX1 video I did in August 2019. And Johnny writes, thanks for all the Roland related vids, extremely helpful for a novice. Well, thank you very much. I'm going in for the first time with the MX1, the TR8S and the TB3. I'm looking to set up a cheapish MIDI keyboard. Can you tell me if the Novation units will sync up in the same way as the System-1? Oh, now this is one of those yes, kind of no answers, as it's a combination that I've not really tried. I don't have a Novation keyboard, although I've had a couple of BassStations. I haven't got a BassStation at the moment, so I can't test it. It would be absolutely yes if you're using 5-pin DIN MIDI connections, assuming they're available on the Novation unit. Now I'm aware that some units are now not being sold with the standard DIN 5-pin DIN connections in favour of just putting a USB socket. And despite what marketing might say, this is a cost-cutting exercise as opposed to a feature. Now, if you connect the USB to your computer directly and have the clock correctly routed, then the answer should be yes also. If you're running the unit through the USB ports on the MX1, then the MX1 should act as a USB hub and you should be able to control the instruments through your computer's DAW. Again, the clock routing will be a key component to this. And if you're trying to run this as a DAW computerless setup, then the answer will, I believe, be no. The MX1 cannot recognise other manufacturers' hardware and therefore will not recognise the Novation unit and will not do very much with it. It needs to be the computer needs to be assigning the clock, if that makes any sense. Hope this helps in deliberations for anybody else that's thinking about connecting non-Aira Roland equipment to their MX1. Next comment or question comes from Javier Alfonso. In response to the Revenge of the Clone Part 5, fact or fiction, can you swap hard drives between receptors? A video I did in March 2022. And Javier writes, hi, thanks for the tips. Oh, you're welcome. I was wondering if you know someone that has a Receptor 2 Pro and can share or sell me a clone of their hard drive. I have one that was upgraded from a Rev C to a 2 Plus Pro and it froze during the OS update years ago and it's been sitting on the shelf ever since. Ooh. Now, I actually know more now than I did when I wrote this response. Now, there is a closed Facebook group called Muse Receptor users that you can apply to join, and that might be able to help you out with this request. But I do not have a Receptor Pro 2 Plus image. I have an OS 1.7 image that I could copy a drive to, but it's too big to clone and put somewhere, and I don't have a sharing site. So, however, what I do know is whether the correct drivers in the 1.7 would allow the 2 Plus to operate. And now, as you are aware, each revision of the Muse Receptor updates the base hardware specification, specifically the motherboard, which in turn means the CPU, the I/O, the memory, etc. If the correct drivers for the hardware combined are not in the image, then this could be what's causing you the problem. Of course, if you're a Linux expert, you could probably locate the drivers. You could install them manually. But people in the Facebook group could possibly provide those drivers and the install scripts, because it's not just a case of just loading the damn thing like you do with Windows with a Linux box. Now, the other thing that's really important here, and this is one of the reasons why, and I've seen this recently a couple of times on eBay with people selling what they claim to be a 2+ machine. Maybe it's the same guy, I don't know. But the reality is that the motherboard between the 2 and the Rev C are different. And in the Muse literature of the time, it clearly states that you cannot, on a Rev C, go beyond 1.7. So in order to run a higher OS than 1.7, you need to be on the 2+ hardware spec, not a Rev C. You can't just upgrade a Rev C to the 2+ because the hardware is not capable of doing it. All right. Now, somebody will probably tell me I'm wrong, but that's my understanding from lots and lots of research that I've done. You can't take a version 1 Rev C and make it a 2. You have to buy a 2.